So with all that being said, all the quarterback play we've talked about, all of the bad quarterback play that we've talked about. Look, Anthony, Tua's back, baby. Tua's coming back this week.
So pumped.
They asked him if he's going to wear one of those, protective shields over his helmet. No, he's not. Choosing not to. They asked him if he ever considered retiring. He said, "No, I did not."
Oh, we knew that. Right?
Yeah. He said, "I love this game to the death of me." Not the best choice of words. Don't love the choice of words, but you know what? Because look, there's been let's not talk about death, okay?
Good point.
You go into the throwing up gangster signs when you get hit. Let's not talk about death. Let's just talk about the fact you love this game. You wanted to come back. You never considered retiring. Leave it at that, please.
Yeah,
but
a little surprised by the press conference.
Well, what were you surprised about?
I feel like it was full blown salty Tua for like 15 minutes. It was just very you could tell he's been hearing the noise from the media. You could tell he's been listening to everything that all these talking heads like you and I, but way more popular than us, are saying. Right?
Not for long. Not for long, Anthony.
I hope so. Listen, we'll be big one day, right?
Yeah.
It just, one hand, I like salty Tua, but I don't think this was the time for it because this is a very serious subject. This isn't like, oh, we heard you eat Skittles before the game, and then you went out of the game with cramps, right? That's hilarious. That's really a funny time to be salty, and if people are overplaying a storyline like that.
Yeah.
This storyline is literally life or death. This is your head, dude. This is a brain trauma. A concussion is literally a brain trauma. It's happened to you twice on national television where you have entered the fencing position, I guess they call it. I don't know why. It doesn't look anything like fencing, but okay. I get it, dude. You don't want to wear the Guardian cap, but just say no. You don't have to say no, personal decision. What the hell does that mean? That was just, everything about it was so salty. And I completely support Tua. I support him coming back. I'm happy he's going to be back because our team looks awful and it'll look good again. And I get it. If you find a profession that you love, there's 0% chance you're going to want to let go, especially if you see everybody else in the world is so miserable working. I don't know many people that love working. So he has a dream job, right? Yeah. Why would he voluntarily give that up? And he's talking to doctors, not us. I get it. He's amazingly frustrated with the media talking heads acting like doctors. I get it. But you have to understand the situation. You have to understand that it may not seem like people care about you, but they're coming at it with that intent of, we're not trying to judge you. We're seriously don't want to see you die on the field, right?
Yes.
This is the way they're coming at it. So while I appreciate the fact that he is probably a little bit frustrated that he hasn't been able to play the sport he loves for the past 5 weeks, despite being symptom-free the entire time, right? And I appreciate the fact that he's frustrated by the media. I don't think this was the time to be as cavalier as he was.
Yeah, I agree. And we're used to the more affable version of Tua. So to see him come out and be more stoic, more salty, like you said, it was jarring to see, especially because Tua, you're coming back, you get to play the game that you love. You should be happy, and I'm happy for I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, but he also has to know that the people who were saying he should retire were not, and I wasn't saying he should retire. I was preaching caution. I also thought that Tua was going to come back. Mm-hmm. You're 26 years old. You've worked your entire life to become an NFL quarterback, and that dream just gets ripped away from you right after you get your first big contract. Yeah. I just didn't see it going down like that. But again, the saltiness was jarring to see, I would say.
And that's their job, right? many of these reporters, that's their dream job. And their job is to talk about storylines. And your concussion as an NFL player is a storyline.
Yeah, so, like it or not.
Right. Their job is to give their opinion on what they would do. Like, I don't know that anybody was overly critical. Like, you're going to have the guys who are out there who are just purposely critical because they're trying to gauge rage or whatever, right? They want those rage clicks.
The Skip Baylesses of the world.
Right. But the normal just ESPN, NFL Network, like those normal anchors were just exercising caution in the same way that we did on this show.
Yep.
Like, I think we all were in agreement that if he decides to come back, that would be awesome because we're all big Tua fans. But
Absolutely.
if ultimately him and the doctors and his family decided that it's too dangerous, then we also would have been okay with that because, like, behind the helmet, behind the number is a human being.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
He's got to live for the rest of his years with the repercussions of whatever, whatever happens from this. Now, to bring it back to football, outside of that, I mean, Hill and Waddle get an instant uptick, right? Like,
of course.
I mean, they go from irrelevant to
relevant
superstars again.
Yeah.
Right. I think, the first thing I thought of when you put that topic in the text was like, well, yeah, Hill and Waddle are back. Right? It's not just getting Tua back.
Yeah.
It's getting our two highly paid, deservedly so, wide receivers back in the fold because we have somebody who can throw it further than 3 yards down the field. Right? We have somebody who can throw a timing pass perfectly.
Yes.
Do I think it's going to be pretty the first game back? I think it's going to be a lot like that Jaguars game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be rust, right? He hasn't been playing. Is like in a timing offense with all of the motions, and I don't think they're going to bring all the motions back right away. Mike already said that is going to slowly bring him back, which is good.
Yeah.
But everything that goes into this offense, I hope I'm wrong, but I think it might take him a little time to get back. Now, the only other notes I had really on just your first question that you had posed as like, what does this mean for the Dolphins?
Yes.
Is that I think the defense will be fresher, right? Because the offense will have longer drives, more sustained drives, hopefully. Hopefully. And our defense will hopefully see some fresher legs out there. And I thought it was important. This was before I wrote these notes before Mike McDaniel came out. I thought it was important that we keep the offense simple the way it is now. And it seems like they're going to do that. So all in all, I think this is a very positive thing for our team. It's very positive for Tyreek, for Jalen Waddle, and for our defense overall. And I'm just really excited to see Tua back out there.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, he's going to be a sight for sore eyes, man. He's going to be a mirage in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Like, it's just, it's going to be so good to see competent quarterback play. Dare I say, good quarterback play. Dare I say, great quarterback play. Maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe you know what? Let me stick with competent quarterback play.
Competent's good. I like
competence. Good. I like competent. Competent will work for the time being. If I have to see Tyler Huntley throw another lame duck 7 yards down the field, I think I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream into a pillow and just start, But what does this mean for the Fins? It means that they're relevant again. It means that Fins fans like you and I and Josh and Steve and not Mr. Snicklefritz, he's a Bills fan, but true Fin fan out there. It means that all of us can hope again. Be it even if it's only for one more week. We get to hope again. We get to think, you know what? We have a shot to do something here. Which is why after that debacle of a Colts game, I'm not more upset than I am right now because you know what? He's back. He's back, and that should mean big things for the Dolphins. What does this mean for the rest of the season, though, Anthony? How do you see the season playing? All right. Tua's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Tua stays healthy. What happens the rest of the season? How does this go for the Miami Dolphins?
Well, we're not out of it. We're 2-4. It doesn't look good right now, but the AFC doesn't look good in general. Outside of the Chiefs and the Ravens, everybody else looks pretty mediocre, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the Bills, sorry, Bills fans. The Bills look good too.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So outside of those three teams, which have been the perpetually good three teams in the AFC for the past 5 years.
Yeah. How about
if not more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So outside of those, let's call them the Mount Rushmore of the AFC, everything else is wide open, right?
Yeah.
We got Houston, who just lost a stinker to Green Bay. Everybody else in that division is crap. Everybody else in our division is crap, right?
Yeah.
The West with the Raiders are awful. The Chargers look like they're struggling.
They're a Jim Harbaugh coach team that doesn't have a lot of talent right now. You give them talent, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But right now, they're just kind of limping along. They'll win some slugfest type of games. They'll be in the mix until
they'll be in the
end
mix.
of the season.
No doubt in my mind, next year they'll be good. Jim Harbaugh does not take long to turn a team around.
It's annoying.
And then the Broncos with Peyton, surprisingly good, quiet season. Bo Nix he's getting better every week, and that's all you can ask for a rookie, right?
Yeah.
And then which division did I forget? The North. Who's in the North?
Well, you got the Steelers who are looking pretty good.
Right.
You got the Bengals who are
Bengals
have
up
a
and
tough,
down. Yeah.
They have a tough test against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Let's see how they play in that one.
And then the Browns are awful.
Oh, the Browns are awful, but you know what? Jameis Winston's going to be starting a quarterback for them.
Why do we always get these teams at the worst? Like, we'll get them in a couple of weeks, and they're going to have potentially Jameis Winston and Nick Chubb at full strength. Why couldn't we face them now? Right?
I know.
Not that it would have mattered. We faced a bunch of bad teams now, and they all destroyed us. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know that we would have fared any better against Deshaun Watson and the hapless Browns than we did against Will Levis and Mason Rudolph and the hapless Tennessee Titans.
So are we still out of it? Let's look at it. Let's look at the schedule. Let's play the game, right? We got the Cardinals next, winnable.
Yes.
The Bills after that, not a chance, right?
Well,
not a chance.
You know what?
Playing in Buffalo in November.
Let's see how they fare against the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm going to go through it quick, though. I don't think there's a chance against the Bills, right?
Okay.
The Rams on Monday night. Yeah, I don't think, especially if they have cutback. I don't think so.
See, I think we can beat the Rams. The Rams haven't looked great this year.
I don't think the Rams are great. I just don't think that we match up well with them.
Okay.
The Raiders, potential. Yeah. The Patriots, potential. All right, so that's 3-2 in the next 5, right? And then we got Green Bay. That's a loss. We got the Jets. Okay.
Looking okay.
Houston. That's a loss. San Francisco.
Maybe. Houston didn't look that great against Green Bay.
No, yeah, well, we have to really study what the NFC North teams have done because both Green Bay and Minnesota dominated Houston. So if we can replicate that, maybe, right? Then we got San Francisco, who was very up and down this year, but they'll probably have CMC back by the time Week 16 rolls around.
Yeah.
Then we got the Browns. Who knows what shape they'll be in, and then we got the Jets again. Listen, I see 5 or 6 maybe wins in there, which puts us at 8 wins on the season. So I think our season is not playoff bound, sadly, as much as I want it to be, right? I don't think the addition of Tua automatically puts us in contention with some of these teams. We have to really see what the offense does as a whole, because I'm going to keep going back to it because it's the only thing we have to go back to. The Jaguars game was awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were bad, legitimately bad against the Jaguars team that is very bad.
All right. Before I respond to this, Anthony, let me go to the chat real quick. I knew there was no way to retire. All of his concussions have been holding on to the ball too long. I'm super angry at Tua. Slide, get rid of it. Oh, yeah, and I'm sure the coaches are drilling that into his head. Not they weren't before, but, you know. Yes, we do have a shot. I agree. Mr. Sticklefritz wants us at full strength. Well, you know, we're going to be kind of at full strength. You know, I like that we're getting our Bills games out of the way early. I'll say that much. You know, I don't like having to play the Bills in week 16, 17, 18. If we're healthy the rest of the season, Miami will finish 9-8 and get in his last wild card. Then it's a new season. If this coach can evolve, this defense will help the offense a lot.
Here's the thing about the defense, though. I don't know if they're that good yet.
No, neither do I. I agree with you. I think that, well, for one thing, I think they're going to relax a little bit once they're not the only unit on the team that's competent. Secondly, we haven't exactly played world beaters for offenses.
We've played no quarterbacks, really.
Yeah.
We played Allen. We played Josh Allen, and he destroyed us as he normally does. But outside of that,
Kyler Murray's coming up on the docket this week. He's probably the second best quarterback we faced all season.
Which is pretty sad because he looks awful.
Yeah.
But he is. You're right. He probably is the second. I mean, maybe Geno. But
maybe Geno. I don't know. Yeah. They're in the same tier. But
we faced a lot of bad quarterbacks this year. What a lucky schedule and a miserable time having lost to it.
Yeah. Lucky schedule. Not a lot of luck on the injury front. No. But you know what, Anthony? I'm gonna say to you is for shame.
That's okay.
For shame, Anthony, because
that's okay.
This is a time for optimism, baby. This is a time to think, you know what? If Tua comes back, we can get all cylinders going again. We can kind of get this ball rolling. Maybe we can finish with, as True Fin Fan says, a 9-8 finish. Or maybe even, dare I say, 10-7. I don't think we're going to win division. I don't think we're going to win the division. I think the Bills are going to kind of run away with it again this year. But this is a Dolphins team that can be dangerous. The offensive line has played better. They've played above their heads, and they've stayed healthy for the most part. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. Where is there wood around here? This is a time for optimism, is what I'm saying, Anthony. The time for thinking, well, maybe they're not going to be, maybe their defense isn't going to pick up the slack. We need to positive thought, at least for one more week. Let's see how they look against Arizona, and then we can kind of reevaluate how they're going to fare the rest of the season. But for right now, man, I'm thinking he can save this season for the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, so let's look at it. Let's say that we are pre-Thanksgiving form, because Thanksgiving last year is after we got that big win against Dallas, it all went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say we're in pre-Thanksgiving form. That means that teams like the Cardinals, Rams, Raiders, Patriots, Jets twice, and Browns are gimmies, right?
Mm-hmm.
As close to a gimme as you can get in the NFL. That gives us 7 more wins, and then we have to steal one from one of the 4 top-tier teams that we play.
The Texans. I don't think the Texans are that good.
We steal one from the Texans. C.J. Stroud gets pummeled by Calais Campbell for 3 sacks, and we win this game. All right. That gives us 10, right?
Yep.
I think that's what it's going to take. My final note on this Tua returns piece segment was what I'm looking for out of this Tua-led team is better overall play from the entire team, but I need a signature win. I want a signature win. I need us to beat Buffalo. I need us to blow out the Rams on Monday Night Football. I need something like that says, we've got this figured out. Here we go. Now's our time.
I like it. And you know what? That's a good sentiment right there. You know, a signature win. Something that Tua has been lacking the last few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had a chance to get a signature win against the Baltimore Ravens last year, against the Buffalo Bills last year, against the Kansas City Chiefs, against the Philadelphia Eagles. There were signature wins on that schedule for the Dolphins, and they didn't come through. So a signature win, yeah, I agree with you. That's what I'm looking for from the Miami Dolphins this year. And if they get that, if we can get that, and I'm optimistic, you know, to the detriment of my own mental health, I am optimistic that they can.
Well, all the teams we face, every team in the NFL has weaknesses, right? Like even the 6-0 Chiefs have at times been made to look very average at best.
Yeah.
Right.
So Mahomes hasn't looked great. And, you know, we can talk about DeAndre Hopkins saving things. He's an aging wide receiver playing on one knee.
Yeah. But this is what, to true Finn fans' point, this is what those great coaches do. This is what the Bill Belichick's, the Mike Tomlins, right? This is what they do. They take whatever talent they have and they expose the weakness of the other team. It's much less about the talent you have and much more about what do they not have and how do we take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right? Tomlin has not been working with the great talent up there in Pittsburgh.
Nope.
But yet they have a winning season every year in his tenure.
Yeah.
He's got Justin Fields, who was thrown away by the Bears for a 6th-round pick. He's got Russell Wilson, who the Denver Broncos literally are paying hundreds of millions of dollars to not play for them.
Yep.
And they're 5-2.
Yeah.
We need our coaches. It's a collective effort.
Yeah.
The head coach gets the credit, of course, but it's a collective effort. We need these guys in the film room finding that thing. What is that thing that Green Bay can be exposed, right? What is that thing that Josh Allen can't handle? We've seen him collapse before. Find it and figure out how to make it happen. And that's really like, nobody takes this team seriously until they do that, right? Nobody takes the Dolphins seriously, period. Fans outside of our fandom they're like, it's the Dolphins, whatever. They'll blow it, right? They'll find a way to blow it. That's like our mantra.
Yeah. And you know what? It's fair.
It's fair. Of course it is.
Until the Dolphins prove them otherwise, it's fair to say that about the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm a fan. And, again, to the detriment of my own mental health, I have to be somewhat of an optimist about this team. And
dude. No matter what I say on this show, what I say leading up to a game, what I say in my dreams, it doesn't matter. When that game starts on football Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever freaking day it is that we're playing, my brain is in we're going to win this mode. Yes. Right? There's no other. If you don't go into that mode, I hate to tell you, but you're not a fan, right? Yeah. You're like, I don't know what you are at that point, but it's not a fan because fans always root for the win, no matter what.